An interesting story was produced by the BBC. It's an interesting article which actually does highlight some serious systemic issues in India in terms of its economy. And this is an article that they produced, and it was entitled "Billions of Indians Have No Spending Money," according to a report. And they've done a bit of an economic analysis on what's going on here. That the middle class, who normally should be saving money, should be accumulating wealth for a rainy day, as we call it, in fact, their savings are decreasing. They're having to dip into their savings, their life savings, again to survive. In other words, they are getting poorer. So again, it's exacerbating this situation where the wealthy are getting wealthier and the poorer are getting poorer. Now, this has primarily happened since 2014, of course, these last 10, 11 years, since the BJP have been in power. Now, why does this matter? This matters a lot because, of course, firstly, for the whole of India going forward, as I said at the beginning, to become an economic superpower, it must have a healthy economic engine. It must be generating wealth. It doesn't need to, it shouldn't have trade deficits with the country. It should be creating stuff. It should be generating goods and services, manufacturing goods and services, which it can then sell overseas, and then, of course, get foreign currency into India, which gets circulated with India. It makes India wealthier. Instead, India is finding itself with its mass population, its larger population, getting poorer and poorer. And here's the crucial bit about the middle class. Why does the middle class matter so much? The middle class is a key indicator of a wealthy nation. The larger the larger the middle class, the generally speaking wealthier the nation is. Look at China. China has one of the fastest growing middle classes on the planet. The middle class in China is growing enormously, and that middle class is generating wealth, it's generating business, it's funding businesses, it's growing new startups. In China is an absolute economic miraculous engine because the middle class is growing, it's recirculating its wealth back into its industry, it's growing new startups, and that is a success story. India is doing the opposite. It is squeezing out the wealth. That wealth is channeling up to the 1%, well, in this report refers to the 10%, but in reality it's the 1%, the billionaires effectively are getting wealthier in India.